This is Chef's Inc. News. News for chefs, created by chefs.
Look, I need to start with a confession here. You know when you really screw up in the kitchen? I mean, completely blow it. And you can either double down on the lie or just own it. Well, we got this one wrong. Real wrong. I'm talking about the World Cup. 6 months ago on this show, I was practically salivating over the tourism boom that was going to hit America. $15 billion in revenue, packed restaurants, international food lovers flooding into our cities, trying our dishes, falling in love with American hospitality. Hell, I was already planning what I'd serve if some French food writer wandered into my place during the tournament. And you know what? I wasn't alone. Every chef I talked to, every restaurant owner, we all bought into it. FIFA's throwing around these numbers: 30.5 billion in economic impact, 6.5 million international visitors. We're thinking, this is it. This is our moment to show the world what American food culture really is. Turns out, we might as well have been planning a dinner party for ghosts. Here's the brutal reality check we all needed, served ice cold with a side of humble pie. The United States, land of the free, home of the brave, supposedly the greatest country on earth. We are the only major nation that saw tourism decline in 2025. The only one. While the rest of the world was recovering, building back up, we were going backwards. And these World Cup numbers? Jesus. Airline bookings from Europe? Down 5%. Asia? Down 3.6%. From South America, which actually gives a damn about soccer? Essentially flat. Zero growth. That's not a tournament. That's a funeral.
I was talking to a hotel guy in Philadelphia last week. Guy's been in hospitality for 20 years. He tells me 80% of operators in host cities are behind their forecasts. FIFA had to release thousands of hotel rooms back because nobody was booking them. Think about that. FIFA, the organization that basically prints money. They couldn't fill the hotels they'd reserved. RevPAR, revenue per available room, only expected to go up 1.7% nationally during the tournament. 1.7. That's not even enough to cover inflation. So what the hell happened? How did we go from greatest World Cup ever to, please, somebody, anybody, come visit America? Well, let's start with the immigration wall we built around ourselves. You want to come to America to watch the World Cup? Cool. Unless you're from one of 4 countries that actually qualified for the tournament. Iran, Haiti, Ivory Coast, Senegal. Their fans are just banned. Done. Can't come. Their teams made it, their people didn't. But wait, it gets better. You're from one of the lucky countries that can still technically visit? Hope you've got 15 grand lying around for a bond. Algeria, Cape Verde, more African nations? They have to post a $15,000 bond just for the privilege of maybe getting a visa to watch soccer. Oh, and that social media screening thing? Yeah, they want to see 5 years of your posts, your tweets, your Instagram stories. Because apparently, checking if someone liked the wrong meme is more important than filling stadiums. I heard this story that it broke something in me. There's this German guy, superfan, been to every World Cup since 2006. He had $1,600 worth of tickets for the quarterfinals and semis. And he canceled. You know why? He's half Korean, half German, and he said, and I quote, "I look more Asian than German." He felt safer going to South Africa and Brazil than coming to America. Think about that for a second. A guy who's been to some genuinely dangerous places, who trusts security in countries that everyone warned him about. He won't come here. Because he's afraid of getting racially profiled at the airport.
And then we went and bombed Iran. Look, I'm not getting into the politics of it. That's way above my pay grade. But here's what I know. Brent crude is sitting at over $100 a barrel. Gas in America hit $4 a gallon for the first time since 2022. You want to fly here from London or Berlin? That flight that used to cost you maybe $200 round trip? Try $600. Jet fuel costs have nearly doubled. The intercontinental flight average shot up from $167 in February to over $400 by March. That's a 148% increase. In 1 month. You're a middle-class soccer fan from Manchester or Munich? You were already stretching to afford the tickets. Now, the flight costs more than your mortgage payment. But here's the part that really gets me. It's not just practical barriers. It's that people are actively choosing not to come. There's a petition in the Netherlands. 174,000 people signed it, asking their national team to boycott the games entirely. Their own team. Because they don't want to support what's happening here. On Facebook, there's a group called Boycott FIFA World Cup 2026 in USA. 25,000 members and growing. These aren't political activists. These are soccer fans. People who live for this tournament every 4 years. And they're saying no. You know what really hit me? 120 civil rights organizations, the ACLU, NAACP, Amnesty International, they issued a travel advisory. Our own civil rights organizations told the world, if you're an immigrant, if you're a racial minority, if you're LGBTQ, if you look foreign, don't come to America. You're most vulnerable to serious harm. When your own civil rights groups are warning tourists to stay away, you know you've crossed a line. And for us in the food world, the ripple effects are already hitting. The fine dining places that were banking on wealthy international travelers dropping serious money on tasting menus, they can forget it. Those Michelin-starred spots planning special World Cup experiences, the customers aren't coming. The winners? Sports bars, definitely. Domestic tourists will still show up for watch parties. Hispanic restaurants are probably going to do okay. There's still a strong soccer culture in Latino communities. Mexican beer brands, tequila companies, they're going to clean up. But that international exchange, that cultural diplomacy through food that we were all counting on, gone. Here's the thing. This could have been avoided. All of it. We had the infrastructure, we had the stadiums, we had the chefs and the restaurants and the hospitality industry ready to show off. But somewhere along the way, we decided that keeping people out was more important than letting them in. And now we're sitting here with empty hotels, confused restaurant owners, and a World Cup that's shaping up to be more domestic than international. FIFA's still saying they expect to break attendance records, but they're not mentioning that it's because there are 48 teams now instead of 32. More games, more tickets, but the same number of asses in seats. I keep thinking about that German superfan, the guy who canceled his tickets. He's probably watching from home now, maybe getting takeout from his local Turkish place or grabbing a beer at his neighborhood pub. And you know what? Good for him. If we made him feel unwelcome before he even got here, then maybe we don't deserve his business. But damn it, that doesn't mean I'm not disappointed. For all of us. Look, we adapt or we die. That's the first law of this business. Always has been. If the world won't come to us, we figure out how to reach them differently. But man, I really thought this was going to be our moment. This episode of Chefs Inc. News is proudly sponsored by Chefs Inc. Miami. Stay hungry for news, stay sharp. Stations open. Chefs Inc. News, Alex Rivers.